Hi everyone, Happy New Year to everyone. Um, this is a new video about the CSX Bethgon Coalporters, and what I'm talking about are these old LBF kits. And I thought, let me make a video because when you're not familiar with these kits, you can make a few mistakes, and it can ruin the whole car. Yeah, I had a lot of cars bought last year in a used condition, assembled, and these cars were a burden. Everything was mounted the wrong way. The coupler pockets were melted together with a solder iron. This car no words. And therefore I thought, let me make this video. If someone builds these kits or will build these kits, therefore is this video. I will show you. I had two cars nearly finished. These are the results. Also I mounted KD couplers, and also I will come on the screws in a few minutes. These are imbus inside 6 hexagon screws, M2 screws, not this US size, because I'm living here in Germany and we are in the metrical system, and these screws, I ordered a lot of those screws, will fit perfect. Under here you see, are these metal plates. Okay, you can see it's rusty because it's old. They're working as a weight. You have to glue them in on both sides, and then these cover plates. Yeah, inside the braces, everything fits, yeah, perfectly when you're checked of if this part will fit in this position. Let me say it that way. Also, inside you have this air reservoir and the handbrake assembly, and therefore I will say a few things about that. Also, these started with the screws. That's the first step I take. I will screw in the screw till here and glue it with CA glue and speedy combine pulver. This is this stuff here, and it gets very hard. You can drill in there, you can tap thread in there. It's get very hard, and I do this step because the screw has more stability then. Yeah, if you know, the kit only comes, I guess, 2 mil, maybe 3 mil. This bottom plate in plastic, not my taste. I don't think it's stable enough, and that way I will do this on this manner. Yeah, and then afterwards the screw is very long and has more, yeah, how can I say, more flesh in the threads, and is more stable to hold the trucks. Yeah. Also, when you start to assemble, orientate which side it is what. I will do this. I can show you. with this side where the handbrake assembly goes on. I always start with that side because I have a little plate here, and this is the assembly with the brake air cylinder and for the handbrake. And this assembly goes, I can show you, right here. Yeah, you have to glue it in, but I'm not doing this right now because I will to show what is important. Also, maybe you can see this plate has a little space. You can show it from the left to the right side, and you have to be careful. Here are the stirrups, and they will have to fit here in this slot. So when I glue in this plate, I will stick in a stirrup and the plate against it. So you will be sure to have enough space on this side, so the stirrup on the other side will slide in the slot. Yeah. Also, you have to be careful of this part. I cut away a few mil of this part here because it interfered with this brace here. Yeah, and then when you're not doing this, you will not get this plate exactly flat in position, because the bolster will come on top of here, and that's very important to get this bolster. Here's the arrangement. It has to be very flat here. It comes right on top. Yeah, and you see when this bolster is not sitting exactly flat, you have later on a problem with your trucks, and they will not align properly. And it happened to me, what I said with the other cars, they always derailed, and till I find the problem, and the problem laid here because it was not flat and it was wobbly, and the bolster stood a bit to the aft. Yeah, so it was not perfect. So let me take out this arrangement, and this is the other one that goes on the other side, to the rotating side, where the rotating coupler side is. It's marked here with a yellow stripe. Yeah, that's the first few things where you have to be careful and take your time. Don't rush things. I always put in the parts, checking for the position if it's firmly in place before I glue something in. When it's glued in, you are out of business, I will say. Then it's staying in place and you can't take it out anymore. Yeah. So, have I said something wrong? I don't know. Okay, you have to later on glue the handbrake, the wheel. Yeah. And now we're coming to the, what I said, the bolster arrangement. Take your time with these tiny parts. It's very crucial for safe operation and for derailing problems or what. Mostly these parts cost, or these parts are how can I say it, usually the problem, these parts, because they're not aligned properly or not assembled properly, and I will show you why. These are the two parts. They're coming together like this. Where am I? There. So, and between here, this is the coupler pocket. There's also an important thing to say. Where can I find it here? A bit light. I always install KD couplers, and maybe you see here I rubbed a bit material off, and that has a purpose because you see this shows here a point, and it comes a bit up. It's not exactly flat, and when you leave it this way, here this is the upper side, it's the downside. When you screw it together, I made the experience that the KD couplers will squash between it and have not enough space to swivel, and they're staying stiff and can't swivel from the left to the right side. And when you take a bit material off, as here shown, and also here, I used a little from a nail, so my wife can't do her fingernails right now. And I rubbed a little bit of flash over it, so that's very flat and it's not sticking some parts up, and then it's perfect, and the KD couplers will fit perfect. Also, I'll show you when I stick it together. So, in this way, you have to look as these parts really coming together. So, as you see, also later on, see, it's in position. Then, the important thing is the screws. Where have I some here? It's very tiny screws. Let me grab a plier for it. Yeah, they're so tiny. So here we are. I shortened them to a length of 3 millimeter. Yes. And why I take these screws is very simple. It's a very flat head, and I made this experience. When you take the original screws, they're coming up too high. And when you're installing the trucks, I have a truck here, yeah, I can show you. This is the truck, and it comes right on here. Yeah, you see? You have often the problem that the axle will interfere with the screw head. You had this problem also with older Intermountain cars. They had the same problem. I had the same problem with an Exactory car. And when I used these screws, the problem was solved. The thing is, you have to shorten the screws. Yeah? You have to take a Dremel and a cutting wheel and shorten it to the desired length. Yeah, you can see here, because this has to be flat when you're take the other plate here. It comes right down here, so the screw has to be very flat. It don't allow to stick out here. It has to be flat, otherwise the coupler arrangement will not fit exactly as it should. Yeah, you see, it has to be very flat, and therefore you have to shorten the screws. It's a bit work, yeah, and what I do is, yeah, I take a tab M2 and thread in the thread. Yeah. Very carefully. I do it with hand, so we'll that way, and not too far through. A bit, you can see thread head is coming through. It's enough. And then you have your M2 thread in it, and the screw will fit in there exactly. When you're putting in the screws, I have a special tool here. It's nearly impossible to see, but it's a hexagon. And what I have to say, what I would like to say is, when you tighten the screws with a gentle force, not with immense forces. It has to be hand tight. That's enough, yeah? Because they're plastics thread. It can't take many force. So yeah, that's what I have to recommend. Yeah. You can leave it this way, the bolster arrangement. I will always install these bolsters in the last step when I'm nearly finished the model. What would I have to say more? These are the parts, what I said. Yeah, not one important thing. What I always do, I forgot to mention that. Maybe you see it. Here is a slot where later on the steer up slides through, and I made the experience that's not enough, and I cut out a little hook here, or a little bit further, so the steer up can slide in easily. Maybe you can see it here. Yeah, you can see it here. This little hook. It's 1 millimeter, not more. But that's enough space. And when you not do this, you will have to find it difficult to get this stirrups here in there. And they're very, very tiny and very, very, it's a small part. You have to be careful with them, because the steps can be easily broken. Also, it's you can see it on the drawings, but it's very hard to see. Let me see a finger behind it. You have here a little dop or a knob, or how you call it, I don't know. It goes to the inside of the car. And this side is the outside. And that's very, very important. Otherwise you have installed your stirrups the wrong way. Maybe I can show this. Yeah. It's very difficult to see. And where is the stirrup? 1 second. Ah, there above. Here you can see this is the knob, what I said, and this part is the outside. And now you see what I meant. This is the slot, or you see here's a slot, and you have to take out a bit material, otherwise it's very, very stiff and you can't get it in. And here you can see the stirrup has to be in one line with the outside line of the car. Yeah. You can see everything. And again, that is the screw what I meant earlier. And this head is way too high. Now you can see it's exactly above the axle. And there are so many problems with derailing, or it's not running properly. And the most cases, I will say 90% of all time, is this little screw the problem, while the car is derailing or not running well as it should. Also, what have I forgot to mention? The braces. Yes, the braces. These are the inside braces that goes in the car. 3 for each car. And you can see there's a lot of flesh left over, and you always have to grab every part and sand it down or sand it flat. Always working above here, grinding a bit material off, because then it's fitting better inside the car. But it's worth the effort to take every piece and fit it here in these. Therefore are the slots here, and I'll show you. So that way. And now you see what I mean. It's a bit bent. And that's why, because it's too long. Yeah? It's too wide. Yeah? And when you take off a bit material on the top, hooks here on the top, and you fit it always and try long enough till it fits, and then it's okay. Because when the braces is a bit bent, it looks not nice. Yeah? It doesn't matter when you're planning on put in some material or a coal load, then that's not important. But I have enough cars, and I guess I will leave these cars as empties, because I have so many cars with loads, and I also will a unit train with empties. It's also nice. But in most cases on the layouts you always see cars with loads. Okay, that's enough. I hope this was a bit understandable and clear for the most guys. I don't know. When there are questions, you always can leave a comment. Yes. And yeah, what can I say more? Watch out when the cars are ready. I have 6 of them. finally found them in Georgia. And as you know, it's very, very hard to get hands on these cars. I don't know why. I'm very, very happy that Intermountain released their new cars, and there are, let me think, I guess 12 or 14 cars on the way here to Germany, and I will see how these cars are. Yeah. I didn't manage to get the scale train cars. They were were sold out in a blink. It's awesome. You can look when Bob's cars were sold out. Awesome. Yeah. And that were the operator cars, not even the rivet counter cars. Yeah. So you can imagine how many guys look out for these cars, especially CSX or Norfolk Southern. I always say there's a very, very high demand of these cars after all these years. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I think there's a big demand. Yeah, yeah. Also, you can take Conrail cars. Yeah, you know, for CSX you can patch them for NIC. Yeah, New York Central patch, and yeah, it also lights up the whole train. And when you look videos, you always found some of the old Conrail cars in an CSX or Norfolk Southern coal train. So enough chattering. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.